Well, there have been extraordinary scenes in Berlin tonight as thousands of people gathered to hear Barack Obama deliver a key foreign policy speech on his current European tour. Democratic presidential hopeful laid out his vision for America's place in the new world order, saying he was speaking as a proud citizen of the world, of the world, of the world.
It is a big idea. It is a big idea. A new world order.
Hello friends, I am the Anti-Terrorist. Thank you for all of your emails and your messages of support, and for staying part of the conversation. As events in the past 2 decades have shown us, particularly in the former Soviet Union and in Argentina, when societal systems break down, they do so quickly and at a rapid pace. And I'm not afraid of this future. I'm a pragmatist, and I prefer to consider every possible outcome in order to maintain my freedom and some level of comfort and safety. I'm relying upon history as my template to design a plan for survival. In my broadcast, The Ladder of Last Resort, I briefly touched on the option of the bug out, a military term meaning essentially grab it and get out. But before we come to options, let's take a look at the beginning stages of eventual collapse taking place around us right now. Whether a financial system failure, a bioterrorism incident, or a mushroom cloud, collapse scenarios always unfold in a predictable sequence of after events. The beginning involves disruption of services and a spiral into confusion, leaving people alive and hungry, as well as deeply annoyed they're missing American Idol or Dancing with the Stars because they no longer have a TV or a house to put it in. And you need to compare your plans with the options I'm offering, because I can guarantee most of the plans for bugging out will also be attempted by everyone else at the same time. The vast majority of humans live in or near large population centers, and as a rule they're poorly prepared for any emergency and completely unable to live self-sufficiently. The food production and supply systems are fragile and subject to catastrophic failure. Most people's lives depend upon a tenuous support tripod made up of the transportation network, the power grid, and the financial system. And all three depend upon the other two. Kick away one leg of this tripod and see what happens. In a catastrophe, all 3 legs go out from under us. Now, when services break down, most people will immediately face living on a very limited amount of goods. In most cases, only what they've stored in their dwelling after the last trip to the supermarket. And once the water's gone and the toilets don't work, they're less than a week away from dying of hunger and in immediate danger of infection from accumulating filth and tainted water. The likelihood of restoring order drops dramatically the longer the crisis lasts. People will begin to migrate. Humans want to survive at any cost. They're unpredictable, ruthless, and deadly omnivores, and can become scavengers and predators in far less time than a week. Family community. The basic family unit will be the first and most common group due to established affection, history, tradition, and duty. Geographical community. Neighborhoods will attempt to form a group for mutual protection, but this is historically ineffective. Sharing of resources within neighborhoods is normally quickly formed and poorly organized. As individuals run low on goods, they tend to lie about what they're holding back. And community patrols in rural areas, due to the large territory they have to cover, will be under strain to keep up a good watch. And the challenge in urban neighborhoods will be from having too many people who don't trust one another. Community by profession. You'll most likely see this behavior with professional military groups. And as a civilian, approach any military installation, encampment, or group with extreme caution. The chances are you'll be facing off a group of very nervous, highly brainwashed young men with no families and a lot of ordnance. If the chain of command disintegrates, there'll be a mob of highly armed, highly trained, and extremely aggressive killers on the loose. Next is the race gang community. In certain areas, being the wrong color may be a death sentence, since it's safe to assume the Aryan Brotherhood will be bonded like magnetized iron filings. If you aren't in one of these groups in good times, you can never count on being accepted in bad times, that's for sure. You can expect instead to have red laser dots dancing all over your chest when you stumble into their territory. What's essential for any group to survive is a molecular level bond of trust and a clear plan for long-term survival. And even more important, to establish a community now. So let's talk about the bad guys. Raiders, robbers, and home invaders. Home invasions are always brutal. If the raiders attack your home, they'll try to take you by surprise and most likely kill everyone in the house before their operation's through. They'll typically start with a distraction tactic, then proceed at a rapid clip to prevent you from reacting, including executing a member of family in front of you for the shock value. Home invasion, with enough firepower and carried out with speed and efficiency, is simpler to accomplish than you might think. And don't be surprised to see some of the raiders wearing body armor, dressed in police outfits and carrying badges. Ambushing travelers is also relatively easy, since any car tire is vulnerable to bullets or a handful of roofing nails on the road. The fastest growing group in the weeks after downfall will usually involve a core of military trained personnel. These groups can extort more than other groups can loot. They'll set up headquarters in both agricultural and urban areas. Classic tactics like assassination and destroying property will subdue local inhabitants quite easily. Now, the line between the good guys and bad guys will become increasingly difficult to ascertain after downfall. What about hiding in the city? You think living in the city is stressful now? After evading wave after wave of looters ready to strip you of your assets, you'll finally be invaded by self-appointed government goons who will move in and take over the urban territory first, for the simple fact that it'll be like scooping fish out of a barrel compared to rounding up people spread out in the surrounding countryside. What about hiding in the country? What about the wilderness? You'll only be buying time, since you're likely to be the warmest white spot visible on some goon's infrared night vision goggles. Living off the land requires skill, and it's unsustainable without planning and discipline. And what it boils down to is hunkering down in a remote place and waiting patiently for the seething biomass to either die off or get its act together. Be prepared to be cold, uncomfortable, and above all, alone for a considerable period of time. Bugging out is the most popular option for armchair survivalists. And once the power is off and the sewage starts backing up, the mass exodus from the city will begin. Regarding an urban society whose greatest survival tactic so far has been trying to get the parking space nearest the door at the mega mall, they'll most likely attempt to flee in the car. Almost no one will just start walking cross-country. They'll drive, and the vast majority will attempt to drive on the major roads. And many people will seriously overestimate their vehicle's range, since traffic jams consume a lot of fuel. Then and only then will they start walking. And they'll mob every small town in their path. I've personally seen this happen during numerous evacuations. When a man's children are crying, when he can't buy fuel or water or a bed for the night, he becomes desperate. Americans can be some of the friendliest people in the world right up until the moment the bullets start flying. Oh, and Europe? We've been killing each other in imaginative ways for centuries before Americans came along. I don't see any mass migrations on foot happening in America. And for the simple fact that most Americans aren't fit enough to travel on their own 2 feet. And if your vehicle's still moving for longer than anyone else's is, do you think a cop or anyone else with a firearm is going to allow you to drive by when their petrol tank is empty? I recommend wearing sturdy walking shoes and be prepared to defend those shoes with your life. The general rule is, if you can think of a plan, expect 10,000 others to be there ahead of you. And for myself, I'm more inclined towards defending a fixed position rather than bugging out. And I'm investing the time remaining to forge bonds of love and trust, to pool talents and resources, and nurture the will not only to survive, but to thrive.
Yeah, you want a piece of me, huh? I got this for your melon right here. You want this on your melon? oh, that's good. Yeah, but what about this baby, huh? You want this? You want some of this in your peepers? Because I got this right here. Whoa! What the Okay. But what about this puppy here, huh? Yeah, I'm gonna gut you like a fish, you melon farmers.
The truly prepared, though, will be ready to either bunker in or bug out as circumstances demand. A tall order, yes. But with the developing situation in the Gulf of Mexico, an order that may soon need to be met by the entire Gulf Coast region of the United States. Take good care of yourselves. Study well. Thanks for listening.
And people better understand that they mean exactly what they're saying. It's a new world order they're trying to create, and they're trying to do so not only without approval or consent of the government in this country, but despite the popular will. This is a straightforward assault by the elitists in this country.